Hey friends, how are you this morning? Well, let me just say, don't watch this while you're eating or about to eat, because just heed the warning. So, my worst experience ever so far has to deal with a meat market, a processing plant. Now I'm not going to disclose the name, even if you are Prime. I just don't do that. So we'll get that out of the way. And some may see this video like I'm ranting about it, and what I really want to do is just share my experience, because I've had good experiences and bad experiences at many different shippers and receivers. But this takes the cake for my worst experience, and my worst experience at a meat processing plant. I'll classify meat as poultry, beef, pork, whatever. It's a meat processing plant to me. So this video is not in reflection at all of the people that work there. They're phenomenal people. They provide really good service. They know what they're talking about. They were very informative. It's not people related at all. So let me just set the stage if you're unfamiliar. Meat processing plants, typically not very clean as far as the outside environment, right? Like, it's a lot of dusty parking areas. They're typically riddled with potholes. There's no markings for spots, so the spaces are, there's some creative parking that happens, let's just say that. And this is par for the course for the meat market. So, this video doesn't have anything to do with those things, because that stuff is just, in general, what you're going to run into. There is also an odor, a smell, a stench, if you will, that accompanies that type of environment. And it's hard to explain what that smell is. You just know. After you've been at a couple, you know that you're going through a town that has a processing plant. And as you get closer to your location, that really sort of permeates everything. In addition to the general things that happen, there's a tremendous amount of flies, and I'm not really sure, like, the flies get together and say, all right, here's incoming, let's get over by that truck, and the minute they open the door, let's all fly in, because she can't take us all out. I'm not even, like, I'm very careful, like, not to have my window down, to be really quick with opening and shutting my door, because it doesn't matter what I do, I pick up 3-4 hijackers. And those little suckers are so good at camouflaging themselves, because everything, I have a dark floor, I have dark curtains, I have dark seats. It's hard to see them once they're inside. And then when you do spot one and you go to get it so you can end its free ride, a little sucker hides like you wouldn't believe. So, not those things, not the parking, not the smell, not the flies, not the potholes. Those are not my worst experience. Oh, it even, like, if I had anxiety issues or panic attacks, this would have set me reeling. So let's get to it. I pull up to this location. I have my empty attached. I get to the guard shack, and he politely tells me that I'm supposed to go further down the road and drop this trailer off at the next gate. No problem. I pull into the next gate. He tells me go all the way to the right and drop your trailer, and then go back to the guard shack at the other location. Got it. So as I'm pulling in and I'm going to the right, I'm like, is there even another road back there? Like, it doesn't look like, the way the trailers are parked, it doesn't look like there's a way to get past it. Well, I keep going, because at some point you have to make a decision. Like, am I going to have to back out of here, or do I think I can get around? Well, I kept going, and sure enough, there was a hidden path. I will not say road, but there was a hidden path for me to snake my way through. And as I make my way, slowly, the stench from where I'm at, like, this is far worse than the guard shack, my first point. Far worse, and the smell is starting to permeate the inside of my truck. Like, a smell I've never smelled. Like, a smell, I felt like it was being piped in through my vents. Like, anyway, so I'm trying to mouth breathe, and then I'm like, oh, that's gross. What am I taking in, right? And so there's all these thoughts that go through your head, like, what the hell? Sorry. So as I'm sneaking my way through, I look to the left, and I'm used to seeing, like, birds and you know, things eating, you know, whatever, parts and pieces. This plant outdid Alfred Hitchcock by 1,000%. So if you think about a space that is as large as maybe like when you pull into a gas station, like for cars and their fuel area, that same area plopped into this environment had hundreds of vultures. Sitting on the dumpsters, sitting on the buildings, sitting on the trailers, walking the ground, fighting over carcasses. I mean, like, meaty, fresh carcasses. And you guys, I almost lost it. Like, the smell, the sight, the idea, the thoughts that were going through my head. Like, I was doing everything to hold in and keep my stomach calm. So I get backed into my spot, and when I'm backed in, I'm facing this cacophony of noises of these vultures, and I can see it. It's like a stage, and I thought, and they're walking around freely, like they're wild animals, so of course. But I went, I gotta get out of this truck. I've gotta unhook this trailer. You guys, I almost thought about pulling back out and succumbing to the fact, like, this is too much for me. Like, even now, I'm like, it brings up, I don't know. It was traumatic. I mean, it was traumatic, and I'm not joking. Like, this was literally something I have never seen in my entire life, never experienced. So I decided, you know what, I got to do this job. So I get out. It's hot as heck. It's humid. The air is that much worse when you get out. And so I hurried up, dollied down, disconnected, bobtailed out of there. Went back to the guard shack to get my paperwork and get my loaded And I go to connect to my loaded trailer, and based on the noise, the sound, the equipment, the people and what they were wearing, I'm pretty sure I was facing now the processing plant. I saw the livestock trailers, and normally those, they keep separate, like the incoming animals are separate, like the gate separate than the product coming out, for good reason. But my trailer happened to be back in that area. And of course, as is typical, I didn't mention this at the beginning, but my trailer was about probably 1.5 feet too tall. So I had to, I bet it took me a good 20 minutes to, I'm sorry, I'm watching to see if this truck can get around me or if I need to move. Probably a good 20 minutes on easy to dolly this thing down. I mean, I was pouring down sweat. It was so hot and humid, and I was agitated from what I had seen. So I wasn't in the best of moods. The amount of swearing did not help it go any faster, but I kept doing easy, and then I would switch and try to do the hard gear. Couldn't move the handle, went back to easy. But anyway, so as I'm going through this, I would take a break every once in a while and go check my tires, and I'd come back and wheel down, and I'd go check this. And so I'd be pre-tripping my trailer, trying to give myself a break in between lowering this trailer so I can connect to it. And you guys, out of the corner of my eye, I see 2 vultures walking underneath the trailer. Now, fight or flight kicked in. I thought, because I've met up with some mean turkeys before. Turkeys are really mean. I don't know how vultures react. I don't know if they attack. I don't know about them, and I didn't Google before I got out to connect to my trailer. But that's where my mind went, is I'm going to get attacked by these vultures. And I froze. Like, I'm like, oh my God, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? And I'm still not dollied down, or I'm still not lowered the trailer enough for me to connect. I still am going to be out there for another 5 minutes at least, and I literally stood in fear. Like, I couldn't move, and I didn't want to move, because if they attack, I just, you guys, this was horrible. And so I got back in the truck, and I tried to calm my nerves, because I was not in a good place. Like, let's just say that my fears and thoughts had taken over any sort of rational control, and I didn't want to get back out the truck. And there was a guy that was across from me in this processing area, and he had like the big rubber bibs on. He was washing stuff off, and he kept looking at me, and I didn't want to signal it to him to come over, because what's he gonna do, right? But he was definitely watching what was happening. And when I saw the vultures clear the trailer on the other side of me, I thought, okay, this is my chance to go out. There could be more, but I've got to do this. So I went back out and got it lowered and connected and left. I'm telling you what, there's very few places that I have on my do not return, right? I will always go to a place one time. But this is a location I will not return to. Ever. I mean, I feel like I'm scarred. Like, I'm not trying to overreact, but this was bad. This was really bad for me because, I don't know, maybe you can call me a city girl, maybe, I mean, I love animals, but this was a different type of environment. And wow. Just, you know, if you are on those meat loads, you got to be prepared for the worst, and you have to figure out what you can deal with. As I was going through security on the way out, and I walked inside the shack for them to fill out some paperwork, I jokingly said to the guy, because he was the same one that told me to turn around and where to drop my trailer, I said, you should have warned me about that other location. He's like, oh, the smell, huh? And I said, the smell, the vultures. He goes, well, there was a lady driver in here the day before from Missouri, and she couldn't handle it. She was throwing up from everything. And I said, I believe it. I truly believe it. So that's my experience. Again, I'm not going to share the location because somebody else may go to and go, you know, it's just what it is. It's part of the job. And, well, I've removed that customer, not that customer, but that location, because they're a big customer, but that location from my ever returning there, whether I am loading or unloading, ain't happening. So that's my experience, guys. So the picture in the thumbnail was an actual picture that I took while there. Still can't believe it, but all right. I gotta get moving. I think I'm in somebody's way. So we'll chat with you later. Be safe, everyone. Bye.